Mark Lane of Rite Painting out of Kenmore, and we're going to be chatting just a little bit because it's really close to painting season,
Yeah, sure is.
especially the exterior version.
Yeah, actually, now is the best time to
Yeah.
be talking to a painter if you're considering having your exterior house painted.
I would imagine that's true. I know I've tried to get my house painted before, and I waited till say May or June. There was nobody wanted to talk to me.
Yeah. Well, or there's painters who save spaces in their calendars for
Yeah,
people who call
the last minute.
June and July. Sure, we got a spot for you.
Yeah, and have I got a deal for you?
So you don't want to be that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. So now you've been in the Kenmore area for how long now? It's been quite a while. You've been going.
Let's see, we've lived in Kenmore for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I've been in business for 17 of those.
Oh yeah. Fantastic. So what? We were talking a little bit earlier, and you mentioned you're doing a lot of multifamily type projects right now.
Yeah, it's we do a kind of a mix of commercial and residential work.
Okay.
It's all repaints, so it's previously painted projects.
Mhm.
We don't do a whole lot of new construction of any type outside of like a remodel on a house. We will do that.
Sure.
And then we work both, residential as well. We do
Yeah.
a fair amount of single-family homes every year, so both on the inside and the outside.
So that is a great, I guess, segue to something. I know a lot of people who have older homes, especially like the older craftsmen.
Sure.
And I know one of the things that I've heard folks say before is that prep is key in some of these old homes. What can you tell me about that?
Well, and that opens up kind of a can of worms in a lot of ways. So if it's pre-1976, we have to test for lead.
Do the abatement.
Well, it's not abatement. Really, it's just if we disturb, the lead,
Oh, gotcha.
so
Okay.
to speak, create dust, then it becomes an issue.
A whole different adventure.
Yeah, because we actually found that there's a lot less of those types of houses out there than
Maybe you think.
than previously advertised, if you will.
Is that right?
I think the EPA really, the 1976, I think, at least in the Northwest, so
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of the nation,
Right.
I think is a little aggressive. I would say anything pre-1925
Oh yeah.
is really what you're looking at. So
Right.
I think most homes on the east side, including Bothell and Kenmore, do not have lead.
Yeah.
So that said, the prep, as you mentioned, most houses east side aren't as extensive as some of the Seattle homes, which you're talking anywhere from 12 to 16 layers of paint,
And all kinds of
a
little,
whole lot of drama.
and a whole lot of fussy details. on that
Yeah,
one, too.
right. Well, and that's
Yeah.
the other thing is wood windows, and
Yeah.
that's what it becomes kind of a pain threshold for the client too. It's
Absolutely.
like how far do we want to take this, and I guess that's where we need to know.
Yeah.
Is this for your forever home? Is this I'm gonna live? I want to be. I had one client tell me, I want to be hauled away from this house in a box. It's like, oh.
All right then.
Know pretty well what kind of
And how
level
old
you
are
want the house
you
in. Yeah. So, so it all depends. So.
Right. Okay. So, do you have an ideal client? Do you have somebody who's kind of like the perfect person you want to talk to?
Not really. Homeowners,
Okay.
obviously we've
Yeah.
never, I know, so I guess kind of a loaded question, because I grew up on Mercer Island originally,
Okay. Yeah.
and I know a lot of folks on the island feel like because they live on the island, everybody has a different price.
Oh yeah.
And I felt like I just need universal pricing for everybody. So, I pay my employees a living wage, so
Right.
I can't be the cheapest guy on the block. But
Yeah. Well, typically most of us don't want to hire the cheapest guy or the most expensive guy.
right, and we typically find we're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So as far as an ideal client, it's somebody who wants their house painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's not a lot of projects we really shy away from. So, and we've done some strange stuff over the years. So.
Okay. So that actually is a great leap into the next question, which is, what is the most unique project you've done?
Ooh. So we painted Pier 54.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which the Ivers restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty unique project.
No kidding. So you got to be a little piece of history there.
A little bit, yeah. Well, and we did an extreme home makeover house.
Oh
You
really?
remember that show where they
Oh yeah.
build a house? Well, they pretend to build a house in 4 days.
Right. They do it in 60 days, but they compress it into 4.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is I had those prints for 2 months, but
Yeah.
it was counting, right?
Exactly.
So, and it was interesting because there was 5 painting contractors on that job.
Wow.
And we happened to be the exterior painters.
Mhm.
And it was a house in Port Orchard, and it was the middle of November,
Oh wow.
and we had to try and paint this house outside.
They'd never
So-
been to the Northwest, had they?
Apparently. So it was tricky at best. I mean, we were out there at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning,
Oh, that's brutal.
and because when they said go, it was go.
It's now.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I remember I was spraying the lower section of the house was all oil stain,
Yeah.
and I was coming through spraying stain, and there was in one small section, I want to say within 10 square feet, there was a plumber, an electrician, a framer, a roofer, and then I came blowing by.
Wow.
And and the look on normal jobs, it'd be like, "Hey, get him out of here! We're not ready for paint yet." And
right.
instead, they all kind of look, "Paint, okay,
Coming
move out of his way."
Wow.
So that was a pretty crazy project.
That would be an adventure.
Yeah.
Holy cow. What? So we talked a little bit about you're heading into the exterior season, but you've been doing a lot of work interiors for the last
Yeah.
6 months, right?
Yeah, we sure have. In fact, we'll still. I want to say, kind of interior season has gotten shorter and shorter over the years.
Oh yeah.
Just because our demand for exterior is so high.
Right.
It seems like we do interior from October to about the end of March,
Okay.
and then it's from then on we're outside.
Yeah.
And then in some years we've actually gone outside in February, as soon as
Wow.
February.
Yeah.
It's not looking that way this season. But
No. I just saw some headline. This is like the darkest January or something like that we've had.
it has rained all year.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's been
All
really
year.
wild.
So as of January 1 till now.
It's still interior season.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you have kind of a range of products that you typically adhere with? I mean, not necessarily a brand, but I mean, do you have?
Are you
like
talking in terms of actual paint?
so do you? You mentioned stains.
Sure.
You mentioned. I imagine you're doing latexes
Mm-hmm.
and oils and all kinds of stuff. So, are
Yeah.
you are you typically spraying? Are you generally rolling? Or you do?
So,
whatever calls for it?
on the outside, siding will spray. And if it's like hardy siding, which is that cement board,
Oh, yeah.
that we don't have to back roll just because there's nothing to really soak in.
Right.
But most homes are cedar, and on that we have a system. It's a spray and back roll, so we'll spray the whole house, and then while one guy's spraying, there'll be a guy on the ground scrubbing it in.
Gotcha.
With the roller,
Yeah.
and then we spray again.
Okay.
So it's a 2-coat system. We found it holds up pretty well over the lifespan of the house.
Interesting. So now I know.
So that's just one system.
Right.
If you look at all the systems for a house, and it's there's it's a bunch of different ways to what's that term? Skin a
Skin
cat.
a cat. My understanding is that actually came from loggers.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a guy who, I think he actually drove a cat, but there was a, they would call it skinning the cat was the process that he used for skinning logs out of the woods.
Interesting.
That was one of those bizarre
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess originally it came from the guy who was driving the mule team to get the logs out.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. Wacky little piece of history. So now I've talked to a number of painters over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like everybody has and you don't have to commit to this if you don't want to.
Sure.
But everybody has kind of a brand of materials that they kind of stick with.
Yep.
And if you found that to be the case, if there's like kind of
Yeah,
something that really
we
works
have.
for you?
We have two primary brands, Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore are kind of
Yeah.
our main staples for walls, ceilings, exterior siding,
Yeah.
you know, wood products.
Right.
For stains, like a table like this, which is a oil stain.
Right.
We still use Daly's products.
Oh yeah.
And Daly's,
That's an original Seattle product, isn't it?
right. And it still is made in Seattle.
Yeah.
But the Daly's stores went out of business. So Miller Paint has actually picked up the Daly's line.
Okay.
So we still use their product.
Yeah. Nice. So what would be if somebody's looking at their house and they're saying, I think it might be time. What are some clues they should be looking for to confirm that they should be giving you a call?
Well, if we're talking about the outside, if it's kind of chalky,
Yeah.
you need to call us.
Okay.
Just because it's faded and it's time. It's,
Okay.
there's going to be degradation of the surface layer.
Right.
Is the technical term, or
Yeah.
it could damage the substrate.
Yeah. we have penetration into the wood. Exactly.
Yeah. So if it's chalky, if they're seeing usually the trim is the first to go. If
Okay.
you're seeing trims kind of peeling a little,
Right.
then it's probably time to call us. We won't do. We get this call all the time where, will you come out and just paint my trim? No,
Yeah.
I won't. Just because in the amount of time it takes us to paint the trim, just for a couple more days, we can paint our whole house. And so our window is short. I mean, it's what did I say, March roughly,
Right.
to September. We've got to cram a lot of houses in there, so
Yeah.
we won't paint trim. But to answer your question, on the outside, really, if there's any type of peeling, a lot of people call us when it starts to get green algae. That doesn't necessarily mean you need paint. You probably just need to have your house pressure washed.
It's maybe that time in the Northwest. It's spring,
Yeah.
I think is what we call that.
Right. Right. Yeah. So dirt, I wouldn't be alarmed about dirt, but peeling, and then on the inside, it's that's the amount of pain threshold.
Yeah, exactly. Is there a time frame that people should be considering? Is like 5 years, 10 years? What should you expect as far as a reasonable life for a paint
So
job?
that's a good question. I tell my clients 10 to 12 years
Really?
from our paint jobs. Yeah.
Okay.
We did a community in Newcastle
Oh yeah.
in 2004 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
It was 40 buildings. It was a big project for us.
Yeah.
And prior to us, they had gotten 7 years out of their paint job.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them they would easily get 10 out of mine. So
Nice.
we are now just the season of 18, 19, and 20 repainting all those buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So they got 14.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So that's our case study,
Yeah.
Because it was 1980s siding,
Right.
that just needed more paint.
Interesting. So was that the so that probably wasn't cedar, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Really? Now, have you dealt with? I mean, the other type of siding that we see actually still a lot of, especially from that time period, the 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
and the name is escaping me at the moment, but I know you know what I'm talking about.
The T111.
Not the T111. It's actually it was the compressed fiberboard
Oh, right, LP.
LP siding. Yes.
Yes. And there's still some houses out there that are LP.
Oh yeah.
On that one, I mean, when the whole LP thing came out, I mean, we were repainting those houses with just elastomeric paint.
Yeah.
Just heavy coating, just to hopefully
Right.
cover it. If you own LP siding, really, you have to keep track of the butt joints. You know, so that's 2 joints. Any penetration where
Right.
that has to be sealed.
Yeah.
Well, because if water gets behind it, then you're
Yeah.
done.
Absolutely. Well, and the other thing that I've been told is that it tends to wick water up. It comes down
Yep.
the front and then wicks up the edge.
Yeah, that's the other thing is look at the butt joint. So the butt of the siding, the thick end.
Right.
If that's swollen at all,
You got a problem
You probably
developing.
need to start over.
Yeah. Now there was for quite a while there when we were coming across more of the LP.
Right.
They would the recommendation was that you could like seal it with there was like I don't remember if it was a latex. They had a sealer that they were selling that was specifically designed to seal up that bottom edge of the lap joint. I don't know. Did you ever deal with that at all?
No, like I said, when we did it, it was elastomeric paint, which is used primarily in concrete applications.
Hardcore.
Big, heavy duty, thick
Yeah.
latex paint, basically.
Right.
All acrylic. That was the solution we actually got from LP.
Okay. Yeah. So what would you have as advice for people who are maybe thinking about the possibility of doing a paint job this next year? What's your give them three pointers. What do you got?
Well, have an idea of what you want done before the painter arrives.
Okay.
You know, do your due diligence, get multiple bids. you
Yeah.
know, make sure. And the big thing is check them out on Labor and Industries.
Okay.
So, it's a website, you know, which for Labor and Industries is the workman's comp arm of Washington State government.
Right.
And so if they have employees, they should have a Labor and Industries account. So the problem is a lot of people will look up a contractor and see, oh, he's got a contractor's license.
That's not the whole story.
So that's his business.
Right.
It's the employees, and that's probably a bigger thing you need to keep track of.
Right.
There's a lot of guys out there who do not have labor and industry accounts.
Oh yeah.
So that means their guys aren't covered,
Yeah.
which then falls on the homeowner. If there's ever an accident in the house,
Right.
it would actually be the homeowner who would be liable.
So is that similar to asking for a bond, or is that?
So license and bond are, those are two separate things.
Yeah.
When the guy falls off a roof, you can attach the contractor's bond.
Yeah.
And that's usually a $6,000 bond.
Yeah.
However, the medical and whatever is going, that's
That goes
on
to
the,
L&I.
that's on the homeowner.
Yeah. Ouch.
So that is a big thing to check. Excuse
Boy,
me.
no kidding.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard anybody mention that before. So that's a great little nugget. What else you got?
Well, that's a big one. I mean,
That's a huge one.
Well, yeah, and I've had former employees who've started their businesses, and and I try and help them out because I understand what it's like to start a new business.
Sure.
And they talk to me about their employees. That's great. So they've got employees. Fantastic. Let's see it. And there is no labor and industries account. So it's like,
Right.
oh, okay. So your employees cannot be on my jobs.
Yeah.
And then the confusion sets in. It's like you need to actually,
You gotta do this for real.
yeah. Yeah. So,
No more playing the sandbox thing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and it's and that's why some of these guys can really
Well,
give
yeah.
you a great number because
Absolutely. Well, I mean, as the old saying goes,
Right.
we cheat the other guy and pass the savings on to you.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's pretty rampant right now. I mean, because there's a lot of guys out there who have. And the thing with our industry it's somewhat sad is it's a low barrier to entry. Right. 24-foot ladder. I always say a 24-foot ladder, an El Camino, and an airless sprayer, and you're a painting contractor.
You're set.
Right?
That is the combo.
So, there's a lot of guys out there. So
You bet.
just be careful.
Yeah. Okay. Where can people find you?
Website. We have a website. It's
Okay.
Rite Painting. And it's a weird spelling. It's RITE painting.com.
Okay. And it's Mark Lane, Rite Painting.
Yeah.
And you're covering both sides of the lake, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. We do basically everything around the lake.
Yeah.
Is the best way to say it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with folks out there?
I've got nothing.
I got one more thing. Give him a call. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Again, Mark Lane, Rite Painting, and you guys, with the tips that he just gave you, he's just saved you a whole bunch of money. So I think you better give him a call.
Yeah.